Welcome to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran of comic, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And with me this week is half the review crew, John Norris.
Hi, everyone.
And John's here with his new laptop, so hopefully he'll be able to stay online for chance. Chris couldn't make it. Had to take care of some unfortunate things that we all have to take care of, getting new insurance plans figured out or whatever, and so we don't have nearly as long as a show as we were expecting, but we'll carry through and get on with it. So what do we have this week, John? We have Barstow, trade paperback, $24.99. This is from Dark Horse Comics. Writers Rebecca and David McKendry. Artist Tyler Jenkins. Letterer Justin Birch. Cover artist Tyler Jenkins. Editors are Brett Israel with Tara McCarran as an assistant editor. Genre horror, crime, mystery, and humor. Release date September 23rd, 2025. This collects the 4-issue miniseries and it has an age range of 16 plus. What it's about. At the center of the Mojave Desert, at the crossroads between hell and gone, lies Barstow. FBI Special Agent Miranda Diaz is in this godforsaken land on the trail of a missing agent. Agent Limo was in the area investigating human trafficking when he disappeared without a trace. He's a man she's never met, and yet her name was the only clue he left behind. Something dark, something demonic, lurks beneath this oddball town, and Miranda is determined to unravel the mystery before all hell breaks loose. What did I think? The cover art by Tyler Jenkins really grabbed my attention, and having lived in that area myself years ago also helped pique my interest in the book. Unfortunately, the book, while not bad, doesn't quite measure up to whatever expectations I had for it. Barstow is not a rural nowhere area. It's a city of over 25,000 residents. It wasn't taking place the story wasn't taking place in the early years of the city, but instead it was taking place 2 weeks ago. It's not that you can't have the weirdness happening outside of the city, out in the Mojave Desert, and still call it Barstow. But, it was just kind of they didn't really do that right. Plenty of weirdness happenings going on out there. Like I said, I lived out there for 12 years, so I'm quite familiar with it. And perhaps that's why I just wasn't connecting with the story. And it has a sort of wannabe X-Files Twin Peaks vibe. It's just not as well written. The art by Jenkins, I've seen better from him. This was a hard book to push through. I didn't hate it, but it was rather dull and predictable for what it was, and not well crafted enough on the writing side, in my opinion. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. We're not going to show the artwork right now. I just didn't have time to get stuff scanned and done. So we're going to just go ahead and move on to the next one. And that is Moonshine Bigfoot number 4, $4.99. Publisher Image Comics. Writers Zach Howard and Mike Marlowe. Pencils by Steve Allen. Inks by Zach Howard. Colors by Nelson Daniel. Letters and design by Thompson Knox. Title logo design by Ed Lavalle and edited by Chris Royale. Genre, adventure, crime, comedy, released October 29th, 2025, with an age rating of 13 plus. What's it about? Uncle Pineapple becomes a bargaining chip while Big Level, with their newly repaired and ornery cyborg sheriff, upends Buzzard County searching for moonshine. Meanwhile, Moonshine Bigfoot, healed up from the beating of his life, acquires a surprising new set of wheels to tear up the roads. Can Moonshine Bigfoot and his friends come together to finally defeat Big Level? What did I think? Good Lord, I didn't realize this, but the last issue actually came out last June. It's a long time to be waiting. This also meant that I had to go find the back issues and brush up on the story. Frasm, cotton picking, sons of flea picking. The conclusion's a little bit wonky, and you definitely have to put your common sense away and look at it as farcical comedy and brain fluff. But once you do that, I think the book's fine. Maybe because it was so long since last issue, I feel a slight touch of malaise, not mayonnaise, and no, I do not have any grape pond. But having the last page claim there's going to be a new miniseries after Zach Howard retired from comics on social media recently, that felt kind of weird. Yeah, I don't, because I know that, I don't want to get into why Zach said the things he said on social media. But and I don't know if he'll be back to comics, but there was things going on. And it's not just to do with this series, it has to do with a lot of things. Like Zach had a podcast that he did for a while that nobody watched, just like nobody watches my show. And it kind of upset him too. So, I think there's a long standing there. But anyway, I give this one a 3. I give the overall series a 4. So that's that. Let's show the artwork for the book because I do have it right here. Again, this is kind of like an homage to RoboCop.
Yep.
And there's a lot of homages to other things going on, but there's some of the artwork.
Cool.
And big levels of the guy in purple with the red helmet, a red face shield helmet. Of course, you got the walking, talking turkey. And other characters that are interesting. And there's Moonshine, his girlfriend. And he's just not feeling too good because he just got completely tore the heck up. And they're just making plans. And let me see if we're no. Okay, whatever. He takes the blue car from his main vehicle nemesis. It's given to him by his nemesis, so that's why it was kind of like a surprise new set of wheels. But as you can see, he's doing his usual crazy ass driving.
Yep.
If you've watched previous episodes where we've done this, and the Chupacabra comes in, that was like turned into a cyborg monster, comes and attacks him at the end, and his girlfriend like clicks off the brain stem off of him, and he turns into a little pooch that just likes to lick you to death. So typical kind of fun stuff that you expect from that series. Okay. Our next book is COSMICAT, Life, Death, and Rebirth for $20. Publisher Next Panel Press by Rick Lopez, released in 2021. The genre is science fiction action adventure comedy. There we go. Age rating, I'd say 12 and up. What it's about: follow COSMICAT, while he learns the truth about the past, the future, and his place within the omniverse at large. 64 pages of campy comedy and science fiction adventure at your fingertips from rascally Rick Lopez. I like the art. The story needed some tweaking, but it wasn't overall reasonably well executed work. I'm trying to figure out what the book out there is. I thought it was a bit too cost heavy, $20 for what it was. It's basically reprints of a online comic strip was doing, and there's some process art and some other stuff in the back, like pinups by other artists and stuff. But I thought the book could have been sold at $12 to $15 instead of $20. Just my opinion, but it's not a bad book, nevertheless. I'm going to give it a 3.5 star rating. Let's take a quick look at the art. There's the cover again. And it's pretty much a one tone, so to speak. color. And as you can see, it's a full page web comic that goes like this. And every page is a one page program type story.
Okay.
And it's got some cool things in it. But it's very formulaic in the style of the layout, obviously. And I don't know, some people might find it tedious because of that. I can't say. In the back here, let me get into some of the. There was a couple of more larger print pages that they were showing here for the Kickstarter or whatever you launched it with. Here's some of the process type stuff from back in the day. An action figure. Everyone wants action figures, right?
Right.
Okay, I guess this is one of the pinup galleries like that, and then the other one is like that. And there's more pinups as well in the back here, but there we go. And those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
But like I said, $20 is a little bit high, I think, but just my opinion. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. I'll let you do it.
All right. Wild West Cowboys of Moon Mesa #2, publisher Oni Press, writer Matt Hodson, artist Juan Gideon, colorist Carlos Cabrera, lettering Jeff Howell. Cover artist is Juan Gideon, who you can see right here. Variants by Andrew Cronky and AJ Jothakumar and Joe Canola. Editor Carl Ballers, designer Winston Gambro, genre action adventure western. Release date October 15th, 2025, age rating 12 and up. What it's about. Marshall Moo, Montana ain't taking bull. Matt Hodson and Juan Gideon partner up with the West Most iconic heroes to solve the mystery that's been plaguing Cowtown. A dark cloud has fallen over Moo Mesa in the form of the villainous Dark Horse. In this thrilling installment, Marshall Moo, Montana teams up with Deputy Sheriff Terrible to stop the shadowy figure responsible for the recent disappearances in Cowtown. As the duo delves deeper into the case, Montana discovers that Terrible's true allegiances may not exactly align with the law, which surprises no one. Picking up where the first issue left off, we see Deputy Sheriff Terrible and Marshall Moo, Montana supposedly searching for the missing folks of Cowtown, only to have Terrible lead Montana straight into a trap. Meanwhile, Saddle Sore Scorpion really has Lily Bovine in a bind. Fortunately, the Dakota Dude and the Colorado Kid are ready for some action. I like the way Hodson and Gideon introduced Dakota and Colorado, with Dakota being the muscle and Colorado a touring musician, musician who has some serious skills with the rope. Hodson and Gideon balance each other nicely. Gideon brings a darker, beefier edge to the artwork. Saddle Sore Scorpion never looked this menacing in the original show, while Hodson keeps the laughs and groans coming with one bad pun after another. Overall, a fun issue.
I'm pretty much in agreement with John on this one. maybe a bit too breezy. It was a very quick read, but not everything has to be a plot dense or have loquacious dialogue. If anything, Hodgson could have used a switch of editing on this. But it was all right. We both gave it 4 stars out of 5. And let's take a quick look at some of the art.
Right. So this on the left here is Saddle Sore Scorpion, and like I said, like he never looked that badass in the show, like never. So it was really cool to see him drawn that way, and of course, on the right we have Colorado Kid showcasing his skills both with a rope and a guitar.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the only art I've got from it right now. But that is the way that is. Let's see. John, do you have your copy of this with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I didn't get the artwork scanned in and done like I was supposed to.
Okay, yeah, got it.
All right.
All right, so Disney's Zootopia #6. Publisher Dynamite Entertainment, writer Jeff Parker. Artists are Alessandro Rinaldi, pencils and inks, and with Diablo Kelly on colors. Lettering Jeff Eckelberry. Cover artist Trish Forstner. Variants by Rinaldi and Craig Rousseau.
And of course,
Editor,
this is Forstner cover.
Yes.
That.
Editor Nate Cosby, genre comedy crime. Release date October 15th, 2025. Rating teen. What it's about. Back on the trail of the original PB&J phone launch saboteurs, officers Hops and Wild get a lead to a clandestine party that they need to infiltrate. But as 2 of Zootopia's highest profile police animals, they can't exactly go incognito themselves. The solution? The undercover debut of Officer Clawhauser. But will the inexperienced feline be able to maintain his cover long enough to gather any useful intel? This is it. The moment we've all been waiting for. Nick and Judy revisit previous locations and characters in an effort to finally close the PB and phone case. Speaking of characters, it's nice to see Chief Bogo and Officer Clawhauser get in on the action, especially Clawhauser, who is hilarious. Rinaldi really gives him some great expressions befitting the adorable character that he is. All in all, Parker and Rinaldi wrap things up nicely. I don't know where and if the series will go from here. When they originally announced it, they advertised it as an ongoing series and not a 6-issue miniseries. So again, I don't know where and if the series will go from here, but it's been a fun ride, and I even got used to the duo shading.
Really? You got used to duo shading? You don't say. Really? For the last year, you've been complaining about the damn duo shading, John.
I finally threw in the towel.
Okay. Anyway, John gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Oh man, but yeah, I just had to give you the Nick Cage. Oh well.
Yes.
Now let's go ahead and let you show some of the.
All right. So this is the Craig Rousseau cover.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what he gets is Craig Rousseau.
Yep. So let me see here.
I think it was 17 and 18 or something like that you wanted to show.
Yeah. Hold on.
You still trying to find it? There we go.
Yep. So here's a page. There we go. Little less glare. And again, I just love the expressions that Rinaldi gave Clawhauser. I think they're hilarious and they're very befitting him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And let's see what else. Here's a little Chief Bogo in action. So very cool.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and. By the way, the Midnight Monster has joined the chat.
Hi, Midnight.
He's just. I'm staying out of camera. I don't want to be in the camera. I just want to be in your lap. Typical cat, right? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Our next book for the night is Escape number 3 from Image Comics, $3.99. Writer Rick Remender, artist Daniel Acuna, lettering by Russ Wooten. Genre anthropomorphic action adventure. Age rating teen plus. Released October 22nd, 2025. What it's about: pinned down, outgunned, and running on fumes, Milton Shaw makes a desperate push across enemy lines with a squad of Marinian soldiers and a relentless bruiser hot on his heels. Trapped between a dam and a detonator, Milton's last shot at survival is running out fast. So what did I think of this episode? Well, with this issue, last issue was more of an internal monologue of Shaw and his history and his motivations for doing what he was doing and why he ended up in the situation he's in the story. And this is more throw the character into the middle of the mass chaos and ramp up the action and the energy issue. And that's kind of cool. Remender's pacing and staccato-like dialogue gives the reader a sense of Shaw's mind. He's not only in chaos, but he's torn from his injuries and his need to remain sharp and precise in how he traverses the terrain and deals with the enemy pursuing him. So a lot of short, almost bursts of text and many little captions or dialogue balloons throughout the artwork. Given the almost leisurely pace of the last issue, this really ramps up the action and sets up a heightened sense of stakes. And it not only complements Acuna's art very well, but when the story gets collected into a trade, I suspect it will really demonstrate the strong craftsmanship of play. Acuna's art is also very well crafted, and it usually is. It has been on this entire series. It's just a really underrated series right now, I think, and I look forward to the next issue, and I give it a 4.5 stars. And I don't know I'm trying to figure out where I put it. With the kitty in my lap, he doesn't want me to move. Typical, right? Move it down, thank you. Okay, where are you? I know this. Right here. Okay. Let's take a look here. Now, of course, the color palette is pretty dark, as they've just bombed the city, and he's just bombed the city, and it's in the after effects. So the Iranian soldiers are following him, trying to capture him. He's already been injured badly. But I love I just love the detail on this stuff.
Yeah.
Just really well crafted. Sometimes you miss it amongst the designs of what he's doing for backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
But it is all there. Very well executed. I love the facial expressions. facial expression.
Oh, yeah.
That's a beautiful shot. Well illustrated. So yeah, he gets a lot of fight, a lot of damage in this one. He finally escapes them, but and then he's got some really nice letter column. Letters from home, which is important because of how he was talking about his family in the last issue, how he tries to remember from the letters and stuff like that before he left. So,
okay,
really good issue, 4.5 stars. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, and that's Green Lantern Dark, number 7 of 7. Finally, we got to the last issue. $4.99. Publisher DC Comics. Writer Tate Bromble. Artist Walter Della Dera, colorist Giovanna Nero, lettering by Tom Napolitano. Cover artist Walter Della Dera. Editors are Andrew Marina, Andrea Shea, and Ash Padilla. Genre is horror superhero and was released October 22nd, 2025. What it's about. As New England descends into darkness, the Green Lantern finally learns the truth behind her abilities and the long lineage of lanterns that came before her. But is it too late? All the while, the evil plan of the Wicked Witch of Providence, Demona, is coming to fruition, and it's keen to devour the planet whole. With the fate of not only New England, but what's left of the world hanging in the balance, the Lantern's light will face down the void itself in this cataclysmic final issue of Green Lantern Dark. And thank goodness that's over and done with. The series was 2 issues too long, in my opinion. And with a bi-monthly release schedule, it was dragging for way too long. And it became a slog for me to get through because just as with Moonshine Bigfoot that we talked about earlier, too much time had passed since the last issue, and I had to go hunt it down and reread back issues before I could really read this one. And unfortunately, the conclusion was predictable, and I just lost interest in the whole thing. But at least I finished it. I'm going to give this issue a 2. And I'm going to give the overall 7-issue series a 3. And I'm not even going to get into the art. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Let John talk.
All right. TMNT, Saturday Morning Adventures, number 30. Publisher IDW Publishing, writer Eric Burnham, artist Sarah Meyer, colorist Luis Antonio Delgado, lettering Ed Dukeshire, cover artist Sarah Meyer, which you're seeing right here, with variant covers by Rick Mack and a Corby art. Editor Thea Chuck, genre superhero action adventure comedy, release date October 22nd, 2025, rating all ages. What it's about. Seymour Guts, great name right there, was a hapless fella who got caught up in the weird world of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and wound up transformed into the Mutagen Man for his trouble.
There's the Ikoria of art cover.
Though he was cured and returned to human form, sometimes the past comes back around to haunt you. That's our way of saying his powers return with a twist. Instead of being able to transform himself, Seymour has randomly developed the power to mutate others, and that's a power Shredder wants for his own. The Mutagen Man is back, but the Turtles find him before their archenemy does. What I thought, well, once again, Burnham demonstrates his skill at taking even minor characters from the original show and developing them in believable ways, at least within the context of the story. In this issue, it's Mutagen Man, aka Seymour Guts, a rather appropriate name for a guy who, after accidentally falling into a vat of mutagen in the episode Enter Mutagen Man, has his brain, mouth, eyes, and spinal cord exposed in a jar-like torso. He used to be able to briefly transform himself into almost any form, but now he has developed the power to mutate others with often hilarious results. There's also a great reference to another episode, Bye Bye Fly. It's the one where Michelangelo gets turned into a gerbil. As for the artwork, Meyer and Delgado always do a fantastic job, but I think they really knocked it out of the park here. It feels to me like this issue must have been a fun one to work on, with Mutagen Man's appearance and the various mutants he inadvertently creates, including a cat that you just have to see to believe. There's also a great sequence between Donatello and Mammoth where Meyer gives Donatello some wonderful expressions. It's another excellent issue from a creative team who knows what they're doing. 5 stars.
And this is the Rick Mack cover that you see here.
Yep.
I think the main cover was the best one.
Yeah.
I wasn't particularly impressed with the variant covers this issue. Here's the interior art. He's at a restaurant. He kind of transforms into Mutagen Man. They're like, we can't allow you to have mutational transformation in our restaurants, sir.
Oh, that made me laugh. And then, of course, here's the reference to the gerbil on the right.
Right. It was, a lot of people were like, but it was a good thing there. And then here's the Donatello versus Man Moth.
Oh yeah, that's a great sequence, and I love Donatello's expression when he's being tossed. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, he was talking about that weird mutant.
Oh yes, and ice cream cat.
I was going to say they must have called it Sunday.
And but
the whole thing of the third panel with him stepping on the cat. That's, even though a cat isn't necessarily on the street, not exactly what happens when you step on your poor cat. You go, ah! And the cat runs away with his head up in the air, like, well, how dare you?
Yep.
So yeah, that was a really good page. So yeah, good issue. Okay, that concludes our reviews for this week. But before we go, I got something in the mail today.
Ooh.
We haven't opened it yet. Let's see what it is. It comes from the UK. So it's overseas comics. What did they bring me from Europe today? I don't know. He put the tape on everywhere. I gotta get to the. There's the thing to lift it. Well, that's cute. Didn't want to do that. All right, we'll do it this way. Oh, somebody wants to show me a short video, and I'm like, not right this second. I gotta get this open. Let's see. There we go. Finally. Alrighty. Well, it still doesn't want to open all the way. I wonder why. Well, I can get it out of the box anyway. Let's see what we got here. Have I got everything out? There's your more. Nope, that's open. Okay, let's put the box down. Get it out of the way. And what do we have here? We have Altiplano, the Peruvian cyberpunk saga. and the Trujillo extra book. So, oh, and there's another book here. There's actually 3 books. There's also Anti-Pucha, which is another Peruvian cyberpunk story. So I got 3 books here from Taco Pinta Press, I guess. But let's take a look at that real quick here. And of course, the back thing on there. But let's take a quick look at some of the. It's a Peruvian Sith board, right?
Right.
But anyway, I don't know. Someone's got the laser whip, and someone's got the laser guns, and someone's got a double-sided lightsaber, and just a whole lot of cool stuff going on here. This ought to be interesting to read when we get that far. So this will be really cool. And that was by Gustavo Vargas. So that'll be kind of cool. I knew this was coming. I just didn't realize it was going to be here already. But he just announced that he had mailed them out. So I wasn't expecting it for another 2-3 days at least. I've been getting a lot of stuff in the mail really fast lately. Aaron Lepresti sent me something I ordered, and he sent it on Saturday, and I got it on Monday from the other side of the country. So I was like, what's going on? Yeah, I thought the government was shut down. Right? This is the Trujillo, and this is 2 cyber dogs tearing up an arm. So that's interesting. So some really cool stuff here. I like how they did the sound effects in the smoke.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
So yeah, nice stuff going on there. Yeah. Alrighty, that'll be interesting. This is a comic about gangsters, shamans, drugs, and dogs. Okay, so that's what I got in the mail today. So that'll be cool. So maybe I'll get those read sometime soon, hopefully. But since Chris wasn't here this week, and hold on a minute. Marcelo 19003 says, wow, lots of topics on that. Yeah. We do a lot of coverage of a lot of different variety of books every Thursday, which will be as wide array of independent comics as possible. Next week, if everybody is available and gets their reading done, the plan is It Killed Everyone But Me from Mad Cave, Dungeons and Dragons The Fallbacks from Dark Horse, Mercury Mouse #9 from Big Kahuna Publishing, 10-Ton Titan Terrier from Paper Cuts, The Pale Knight, I think it's the last issue of that series from Mad Cave, Blinking You'll Miss It #3, I think it's Boom Studios, Electric Cowboy from Silver Sprocket, comic book creator, where we talk about the late, great Dave Stevens. That's from Tomorrow's Publishing. Event Horizon Dark Descent from IW. RoboWolf number 2 rather, from Jake Smith and Dark Horse Comics. And that's just what Chris and I are supposed to be doing. I'm not sure what John has in store for next week. Do you?
I'm planning on doing Venom, Black, White, and Blood, number 3.
Okay.
And Blue Falcon and Dynamite, 1 and 2. I know those for sure, and hopefully I'll have time to get to some others.
Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing next Thursday. And then tomorrow, we have the Friday Manga Special Edition at 4 p.m., where I'll be starting our reviews of Kaiju number 8, volume number 1. And then tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., join John and hopefully Chris and myself for Halloween night, where we will be discussing the classic 1972 movie Tales from the Crypt, starring Joan Collins, Peter Cushing, Roy Dotrice, Patrick McNee, and others.
Yes, very, very cool.
And that is our show. So if you have reason to reach out to us on social media, I can be found on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven, or the Muskrat channel, known as Twitter X, at LewisBrightRave2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven, exclusively on YouTube. If you have questions, comments, titles that you maybe want to see us review, and we have a new subscriber, Marcelo 19,003. Thank you. We appreciate that, Marcelo.
Yes, it's nice to have somebody in the chat room again.
Yes. And again, Quoth the Raven LBR72 at Gmail is the best way to reach me on email. And I'll get back to you at that place. Try Lewis Bright Raven at yahoo.com. And if you want to reach out to John, he is at grayfigaro@hotmail.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, the illustration for Kaiju? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the cover for that. Yeah, it's a cool comic. Very popular Kaiju manga series that I'm looking forward to talking about that tomorrow. So, okay, that leaves us time to get out of here, I guess, huh? I guess. Because I've got a movie to watch and write reviews, and I got to find out what's going on with Chris. Make sure
I just sent you my review for it right before we started, so you should have it in your email.
Yep, it's there. So we'll catch you next time, folks. We appreciate you watching. And Quoth the Raven, nevermore.
Nevermore.